Hey there, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to dive into the exciting world of chess and analyze a fascinating game that's sure to leave you on the edge of your seat. Today, we have a game between Akifa SRSF, playing white, and Ikwan_Nazir, playing black, on chess.com. Let's dive right into the action. Move 1, e4 e5, and we have a standard opening move by both players, the famous e4 e5 opening, the king's pawn opening. This is a very popular opening as it allows both the bishop and the queen to move freely. The king's pawn opening is one of the oldest and most popular openings in chess. It begins with the move 1, e4, which advances the pawn 2 squares and opens up lines of attack for the king's bishop and queen. The response 1, e5, by black, is a mirror image of white's move and aims to control the center of the board. This opening is often played by players who prefer open, tactical games. It leads to a highly aggressive and dynamic game where both players fight for control of the center and try to launch attacks against each other's king. The king's pawn opening has many variations, including the Ruy-Lopez, the Italian game, the Scotch game, and the Petrov defense. Each of these variations has its own set of unique characteristics and sub-variations. In summary, the king's pawn opening is a classic and popular opening that is known for its aggressive and dynamic play, making it a favorite among players who enjoy tactical games. Continue to the game. On move 2, g4 nc6, and white makes a strange move by advancing their g-pawn to g4. This move weakens white's king side and doesn't develop any pieces. Black, on the other hand, develops their knight to c6, which is a standard move. Move 3, nc3 d5. Black now attacks the center with their pawn. This is a good move as it takes control of the d4 square and prevents white from advancing their pawn to d4. Move 4, ex d5 end4. Black continues to attack the center and develops their knight to d4. This is a strong move as it puts pressure on white's e2 pawn and also prepares to attack the f2 square. Move 5, bg2 bd6, and black develops their bishop to d6, which is a good move as it puts pressure on white's e5 pawn and also prepares to castle. Move 6, ing2 bx g4, and black wins a pawn by taking white's e4 pawn with their bishop. This is a good move as it opens up the f-file for black's rook and also weakens white's pawn structure. Move 7, oonx e2+, and white blunders by allowing black to win their queen by taking their knight with their bishop. This is a costly mistake and gives black a huge advantage in the game. Move 8, kh1 ng3+. Black continues to attack white's king and wins another pawn by taking white's h2 pawn with their knight. Move 9, hxg3 bxd1, and black wins another pawn by taking white's bishop with their queen. Black now has a material advantage and a much better position. Move 10, rxd1 nf6, and black continues to develop their pieces and puts pressure on white's position. 11, nb5 ng4. Black now attacks white's knight with their queen and puts pressure on white's d3 pawn. 12, kg100, and black castles, which is a good move as it connects their rooks and puts their king in a safer position. 13, d3 qf6. Black now attacks white's f2 pawn with their queen and puts pressure on white's position. 14, bf3 qxf3, and black sacrifices their queen to win white's rook. This is a brilliant move by black and puts them in a winning position. 15, b3 qxd1+. Black wins another piece by taking white's d1 rook with their queen. 16, kg2 qxc2. Black attacks white's c2 pawn with their queen and puts pressure on white's position. 17, kh3 nxf2+, and black wins another pawn by taking white's h3 pawn with their knight. 18, kh4 qxd3. Black wins another pawn by taking white's h4 pawn with their queen. 19, ba3 bxa3, and black wins another piece by taking white's a3 bishop with their bishop. 20, nxa3 qxd5. Black wins another pawn by taking white's a3 pawn with their queen. 21, rf1 qd4+. Black continues to attack white's king and puts pressure on their position. 22, kg5 ne4+, and black wins another piece by taking white's e5 pawn with their knight. 23, kg4 nd2. Black continues to put pressure on white, attacking the pawn on f4 and threatening to capture the knight on c4. White responds with 24. Rf4 to defend the pawn and get the rook in a better position. 24. Nf1 Black's knight is now attacking the white rook on f4, and white is in a bit of a bind. If white moves the rook, black can capture the pawn on f4, and if white captures the knight, black can recapture with the queen and threaten the white king. 25. Rxd4 Exd4, 26. Nc4 Rad8 Black is now up a full rook, and is just consolidating their position. White's pieces are all tangled up and unable to coordinate effectively. 27. Kf3 Nh2+, 28. K2 D3+, 29. Kd1 Nf3 Black is methodically improving their position, while white's pieces remain disconnected and uncoordinated. 30. Kc1 D2+, 31. Kc2 D1 equals Q+, 32. Kb second 2 Black's knight is once again attacking the white rook, and white is running out of options. White responds by retreating the rook to b2. 33. Ne5 Qb1+, 34. Ca third 5 Black's rook is now attacking the white queen, which is running out of squares. White is forced to move the queen to b4, but black responds with a nice little check on c5. 35. Nf3 Qc1+, 36. Kb4 Qc5+, 37. Ca4 Qa5 and that's it. Black has delivered a beautiful checkmate with their queen and bishop. White's pieces were never able to coordinate effectively, and black was able to take advantage of their opponent's weaknesses to secure a convincing victory. In this game, we see that white played some questionable moves such as 2. G4 and 5. Bg2, which weakened their position and allowed black to gain an advantage. Additionally, white's decision to move their king to h1 on move 8, instead of playing a move to develop their pieces, put their king in a vulnerable position and allowed black to launch a powerful attack. The lesson that can be learned from this game is the importance of following sound opening principles, such as controlling the center, developing pieces, and not moving the same piece multiple times in the opening. It is also important to be mindful of potential weaknesses in your position and to avoid making hasty moves that can create vulnerabilities. In summary, by playing solidly and avoiding mistakes, you can put yourself in a good position to win the game. And that's a wrap for today's video, folks. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and if you want to see more awesome chess content like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.